Hello, 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 and welcome back to Dilsim's Let's Play of the Kingdom of Loathing. Last episode we did a whole bunch of stuff. You can see I've got the Council of Loathing in Seaside Town wants to talk to me, but I'm going to ignore them for now and go back to the junk and see if I can get the stuff that I need from the old landfill. All right, a junk sprite coat hanger bender. He can even bend himself a pair of aluminum underwear, so if you don't like him, you can bite his shiny metal ass. Alright, so I get the jump on him, and I whack him, and I give him a nasty case of club elbow. Okay, junk sprite cheese grater melter. Down it goes. Ooh. This particular junk sprite sharpens pieces of metal to upcycle into semi-lethal crafts. More beatdowns. A key bender. Does that mean I get a key? No, apparently not. I just need to get the junk key. Give me the junk key. Junk key. Junk key. Alright, I got the jump on him. Junk sprite rake sharpener. Ah, funky junk key. Alright, so. The left branch smells decidedly bathroomy, so I can probably get a claw tub there. I am going to take the tub. That is exactly what I need. I have an old clawfoot bathtub, which says nobody uses this kind of bathtub anymore because nobody likes using a bathtub that's full of spiders. If Claire's watching this, I apologize. Alright, a junk sprite percolator bender. I like that the names keep changing. Junk sprite key melter. Alright. A junk sprite wire bender. A piece of bent scrap metal. Alright. Junk sprite cookie sheet bender. Ooh, and a funky junk key. Alright. So, middle branch sounds like somebody left a television on, so I probably got a power pole there. Let's try to take the antenna. Old clothesline pole. Alright, I can now go into my stuff, use my Worse Homes and Gardens, and make a junk. And let us return and speak to the Hippy near the old landfill. Oh wow, man, that boat looks really eco-friendly. Come on, hop in, I'll show you where I live. Before you can say no, you've set sail, well, you've set cigar billboard at least, to the mysterious island, home of the hippies and who knows whatever god-awful nonsense. I don't know how to thank you, man. We don't, have possessions or I'd give you a reward. You've got this cool boat, you suggest trying to be helpful. Great idea, man. You should totally keep it. I probably ought to stick closer to home anyway, man. Alright, so I have found the mysterious island of mystery. There is the hippie camp. You're fighting a dirty hippie vegan chef. This chef prepares tasty dishes from food that has fallen from plants and trees so that no living thing was harmed in its preparation. Okay, so I lied about the tasty part. Alright, I got the jump on her. I deliver a Pesci-esque blow to the back of her head. Ooh, I got Uncle Jick's brownie mix. Very nice. It's a cooking ingredient. Hippies sure seem to use a lot of this stuff. Seal taint in the soiled tent. You're walking past one of the many filthy tents in the camp when you're suddenly struck by something emanating from within it. It's not the stench, you've basically gotten used to that by now, but something darker. You duck into the tent to investigate. You find a carved wooden box underneath the filthy cot, and you pull it out and look through it. It's filled with typical hippie crap, little trinkets, spent incense sticks and stuff. But one thing doesn't belong. It's an Infernal Seal figurine. The hippie must have picked it up, not knowing what it was. You hate hippies as much as the next guy, but he doesn't deserve this. Nobody deserves this. You take this figurine with you. So the figurine of the Stinking Seal. Alright, requires level 6. So if I find a tent, I can probably do it. You're fighting a crusty hippie vegan chef. This is a peace-loving chef from the Vega star system. Not really. The truth is out there, but far less interesting. He gets the jump on you. The opponent brushes up against my hot plate and suffers 4 damage. Does some kind of alien mind meld with you. Well, actually, he just kicks you in the groin. Oh, that's a lot of stench damage. Alright, I got a filthy pestle. It's a one-handed utensil, which would be great if I were a pastomancer or a sorcerer. You're fighting a dirty hippie vegan chef. Alright. Got the jump on her. I got carob chunks. These are some chunks of carob. Some people use these instead of chocolate. You'll never understand those people. It's both a meatsmith ingredient and a cooking ingredient. There's a double-barreled sling, which is a ranged weapon, which deals sleaze damage and slight cold resistance. Hippie chicks don't like to wear brassieres, as they interfere with their ability to grow really prodigious manes of armpit hair, but they always have brassieres lying around before they went to college and decided to become hippie chicks, so they gotta do something with them, right? Alright, I'm gonna see if I can cook the carob chunks with Uncle Jake's brownie mix. Ooh, I got carob brownies. Ooh, decent. These are some brownies with chunks of carob in them. Nasty with a capital N. Alright, let's see what happens when I eat that. You eat the carob brownies. They're delicious. Oh wait, no they're not. Alright, let's go back to the hippie camp. Ooh, I got another figurine of a stinking seal. Ooh, I'm fighting a filthy hippie jewelry maker. This hippie makes jewelry if clay beads and carved driftwoods count as jewelry, which they don't. You get to jump on them. I got a hemp string. It's a meat pasting component. I seem to remember seeing something somewhere in my items that said it would be good on some jewelry. It's not the bar skin, it's not the back gut, it's not the cog, it's not the dry noodles. It's not the Hellion cube. It's not the hermit permit. It's not that, it's not that, it's not this, it's not that. It's not a worthless knick-knack. Potion gives me spicy mouth, okay. Can I use that in cooking? No, okay. What was it? What was the thing? I need to know the thing. Was it a piece of equipment, maybe? I don't think so. Okay. It's not bar skin. It's not bat gut. It's not a bat wing. It's not a buckler buckle. It's not a bunny liver. It's not a casino pass. It's not a clown skin. It's not a cog. It's not a demon skin. It's not a golden arch. Is it knoll teeth? Ah, that's probably it. Okay, craft stuff. Combine items. Hemp string. Whoops. Hemp string with knoll teeth. Combine. Knoll tooth necklace. Alright. It's an accessory. Gives me muscle plus 5. Is that... Do I have anything... Am I wearing anything not as good as that? I have the impunity ring. Gives me haunt damage. I'm gonna unequip the impunity ring and equip my knoll tooth necklace instead. Alright. Let's head back out to the hippie camp. Basically, he's just a salad tosser. I got some tambourine bells, which are a meat pasting component. Ooh, she smears stinky hippie clay all over me. That's not very nice. More hemp string. Let's go back to the mysterious island and see what's at the obligatory pirate's cove. You're fighting a sassy pirate. Diagnosis? Sassy. You get to jump on him. I acquire a flare gun. This is a single shot gun with a flare loaded into it. The flare is made out of 8 pieces of flare, and pirates sometimes use it to lead each other to the locations of pieces of 8. That seems needlessly complicated. Okay. As you wander through the crowds on the pier, you see a strange fight taking place on a nearby ship. A big swarthy pirate is fighting what looks to be a 12-year-old boy, or perhaps a 20-year-old woman with short hair. The big guy is dressed like a cross between a pirate and a drag queen, bright red uniform with lace and frills spilling out of every seam. In one hand he has a fearsome-looking ladle. The kid's dressed entirely in green felt. Below them, in the water, a crocodile watches the fight with unnatural interest. Well, unnatural for a crocodile, who are nature's own bored spectators. It looks like the fight's been going on for ages. The kid turns to you and says, "Hey, can I get a little help here? This guy's Captain Ladle. He's a full-grown pirate, and I'm just a little kid." Just a little kid. The pirate turns to you and says, "No, this kid's Sammy Skillet. He's a demon. He's got supernatural powers. He can fly through the air and summon a glowing familiar." The crocodile turns to you and opens his huge mouth, crying crocodile tears. You try to figure out who needs your help the most. Well, just bury me at sea. That's good. Let's start by helping out Sammy Skillet here. Alright, you pull 5 meat out of your pocket and show it to Captain Ladle. Here, catch! Since he can't catch with his ladle hand, he instinctively drops his sword to catch the meat. Sammy Skillet leaps on him and jumps him over. Sammy perches on his chest and holds his sword to the pirate's throat. He pulls the stuffed shoulder parrot off of Captain Ladle's shoulder and tosses it to you. Thanks for the help, mister. So I got a stuffed shoulder parrot. It is part of the swashling get-up. It gives me plus 5 MP and it's an accessory. I don't need it yet, so I will wait. You're fighting a swarthy pirate. This is a swarthy pirate. His swart knows no bounds. That's actually what swarthy means. Full of swart. Seriously, look it up. He cuts you with his swarthy cutlass. Wow, that hurt. Alright, I deliver a pishy-esque blow to the back of his head. He calls you a scurvy swab. It really hurts your feelings. That's 33 points of sleaze damage, you sleazy bastard. Alright, so I won that fight, but that hurt a lot, so let's rest up a little bit. Let's go back into the obligatory Pirate's Cove. I'm fighting a shifty pirate. This pirate is pretty shifty. He shifts to and fro, attempting to lay the smackdown on you all the while. He gets the jump on me. He shiftily asks you for some spare change and then punches you when you go for your wallet. That's not very nice. Thrust smack. Okay. I'm still hurting, but now that I'm level 7, let's go see if I can finish off a daily dungeon. Let's go into the big mountains. We will go into the Dungeoneers Association, and we will go into the daily dungeon. Alright, let's bash down the door. Ow! Okay, I'm betting that there's actually a correct answer, and I picked wrong. But let's heal up again, and go back to the daily dungeon. You're fighting an apathetic lizard man. In the chamber number 2 of the daily dungeon, you encounter a monster. The room is guarded by an apathetic lizard man. Well, not really guarded. Well, sort of guarded. I don't care. He gets the jump on you. He reluctantly whips you in the elbow with his tail, but you diligently dodge. Alright, thrust smack. Alright. Hitting the lizard man makes you feel sort of, whatever. So I got some flavorless gruel, which is good food. To punish prisoners, they feed them nothing but bread and water. This is like bread and water mixed up in a bowl. Cool. Let us adventure again. We will proceed forward cautiously. Ow. You step on a rigged brick in the floor, causing the panel in the ceiling to slide open and dump an entire room full of niche adult magazines on you. You pick through them, seeing things you did not want to see. You lose 51 hit points of sleaze damage. Shrug, brush yourself off, and proceed to the next chamber of the daily dungeon. Let us rest once. Let us rest twice. Oops. And let us go back to the daily dungeon. Chamber 4 of the daily dungeon appears to be empty, but you know better. They don't put empty rooms in dungeons, so any room that appears empty must contain something you haven't seen yet. And anything you haven't seen yet must be assumed to be a trap. Okay, more bad magazines. Okay. Let us return to the daily dungeon. I get a chest with some extra strength strongness elixir in it. I will keep fighting. You're fighting a giant moth. In chamber number 6 of the daily dungeon, you encounter a monster. The room is occupied by a giant moth. It's like a giant moth. It's like a giant moth, only bigger. It doesn't appear to have 2 tiny Japanese women with it. I'm not entirely sure I get it. Probably a Godzilla joke. It gets the jump on me. It flaps its wings harder and harder, creating a tornado. You get sucked up inside. Midway through a rotation, you hit your head on a house that's flying through the air. Ooh, it flits out of the way of my attack. It inhales to breathe radioactive breath on you, but you quickly give it a breath mint. Now it can only bathe you in cool, minty freshness. Alright, well, let's try the thrust smack again. There we go. You raise your hammer smiting above your head, thrust your hips forward as you draw it back, and then smack your opponent for 85, plus 6, plus 5 damage. I got giant moth dust. This is a slightly larger than tiny pouch containing a measure of dust from the wings of the giant moth. At least you hope it's from the wings. Alright. There's another door. Let us try bashing it down. You get a good running start and bash the door down with your shoulder. Sweet. Chamber 8 is also a door. Let us try this again. You get a good running start and bash the door down with your shoulder. Unfortunately, your boorish behavior triggered a trap. A blast of frigid air shoots out of the keyhole, chilling you to the core. The core. Alright, so clearly there is a correct answer, and that was not it. Let us rest some more then. Well, I've got a bunch of meat. Let's go see if my trainer can teach me anything neat. Torg the trainer can teach me. Let's see. I can't learn Hide of the Walrus. I don't have that much meat. But I could learn Thirst of the Weasel, which my smacks restore 1 to 2 HP per gallon of fury. Okay. I could get Scowl of the Auk. The frigid Northlands are no place for birds. Well, no place for happy birds, at least. This skill lets you be a bird, perpetually upset and aggressive, which gives me weapon damage plus 10. Could get Buoyancy of the Beluga, which is regenerate HP after each adventure. I could Blubber Up, which gives me Moxie plus 5. I could Hibernate, which gives me Well Rested, which gives me plus 3 stats per fight. What is the Furious Wallop? A regular attack that is guaranteed to be a critical hit, costs 1 gallon of fury. Okay, I think I want to do that, but I don't have the meat for it. So let us return instead to Cobb's Knob. Let's see. Whoops, I've already slain the Goblin King. Oops. Let us return to the menagerie and see if I can take on what's on level 3. You're fighting a Spectral Jellyfish. This is the enslaved spirit of a jellyfish that didn't quite make it to jellyfish heaven, where jellyfish go to get away from Mormons and drunk Eskimos. I do get to jump on it, let us thrust smack it, and I win the fight. Excellent. I'm fighting a Booze Giant. This is a Booze Giant which was somehow captured from the Fluffy Cloud Kingdom by the Knobgoblin Mad Scientists. Holy cow. Okay, so I raise my hammer, smiting above my head, thrust my hips forward as I draw it back, and then smack my opponent for 45 plus 6 plus 5 damage. He drunkenly karate chops you in the arse. He probably wasn't aiming for that part, but it'll do. 45 hit points. That hurt. I did beat him up and get another bottle of whiskey, though. Okay, so you can see Familiars top out at 20 pounds. Wonklin will not get much better than this, unless I find some gear that he can use. But I am getting 43 hit points when he does do that, so the Spectral Jellyfish, it stings you, not with its own tentacles, but with the severed stinger of a spectral bee. That was a long way to go for an attack, bro. Alright. Beat up the Spectral Jellyfish. Oof. I am poisoned by the attack. I am somewhat poisoned. That's not good. This could be bad, actually. Okay. Ow. Please die. Thank you. Okay. So I am somewhat poisoned for 9 more adventures. Let us go back to my campsite, first off. And get me back up to 78 here, and then go do something I can handle for another 7 adventures, like the Lynbrook Dungeon. That sounds like fun. That'll be funny. Let's go into the Lynbrook Dungeon. You encounter a sozzled old dragon who is drinking his grog by the flagon. He says, "Who are you, punk? I'm a mean dragon drunk," and attacks you, but you fix his wagon. You arrive at a martini booth. "Make it dry," you demand of the youth. You get the drink's essence without the excrescence of an olive, a glass, or vermouth. So I got a bottle of gin. Okay. You encounter a fierce-looking giant who blocks your way, huge and defiant. Though he roars, "Puny fool," you take his ass to school and leave him a good deal more pliant. Very nice. You're exploring the dungeon's interior when an ogre yells, "I am superior." Advising the brute that you beg to dispute that, you hand him his posterior, courtesy of Baltar. I believe that's a user suggested limerick. You encounter the Goblin King's vassal and think this won't be too much hassle. As you show him the floor, slam his head in a door, and make off with his shiny new tassel. What is the tassel? It is a tassel taken from a vassal. Perhaps he lived in a castle. Okay. A lizardman quite apathetic, of limited virtues aesthetic, tries to impede you, but with valiant deed you leave him in need of a medic. And one more to get rid of the poison. All at once you're approached by an orc who comes after you waving a spork. With a thud and a squish will you make that orc wish he was never dropped off by the stork. Alright, let us return to the Cobb's Knob Menagerie level 3. You're fighting a portly abomination. This is a gigantic creature which has been constructed by the Knobgoblin Mad Scientists out of parts of dead fat goblins. I get to jump on him. Alright. I raise the hammer, smiting. He suddenly sees his shoes untied and bends over to tie it. Several people get on his back thinking he's a boss, which slows him down considerably. Okay, so I beat up the portly abomination, and I now have abominable blubber, which is what the subject 37 needs. What does he say? You hand subject 37 the glob of abominable butter. Wow, he says this stuff is really gross. Alright, that should do it. Keep an eye on the corridor for me, okay? You look around the corner and hear a strange noise. It sounds a bit like arr, crunch, smash, slurp, plop. Then you hear a guard say, hey, what the? And there's a sort of swoop noise, and then you hear the sound of running feet fades off into the distance. You go back and look into the cell, but it's empty. Looks like subject 37 made his escape. Guess that's your good deed for the day. There's no response. Okay, well, that's how it goes, I suppose. Okay, so I don't know the password for the dispensary. Alright, well that done, I have 4 adventures left. Okay. I'm going to try having my... Where is it? My habanero flavored chewing gum. And then going into the mountains. Going into the dark and dank sinister cave, going up to the door, and putting in, where is my enchanted bean burrito? It's ejected out of the hole and into my hands. Okay, clearly this is not quite good enough. And my spicy mouth does not do what I want it to. Alright, I need something to make it spicy. Well, let us go back to Gobsnob, the kitchens, and see if I can get some spices in my next 4 adventures. Now, Goblin Master Chef. Get the jump on him. Knob mushroom, dry noodles. Okay, no such luck there. Now, Goblin Master Chef, 35 meat. Come on, baby. Hand it over. Now, Goblin Spatula. We got some spices, maybe? Spices? No, no spices. Okay. Well, I do have a couple of things I can eat. I'm going to see if I can use... Oh, I cannot use the... Oh, no, I'm not cooking, that's why. So let's see if I can use my Hellion cube with some dry noodles. You don't have that much time. Oh, okay. It does take time to cook things. Well, that's disappointing. Enchanted bean burrito and a Hellion cube. They don't combine to make anything. Oh, dry noodles. Okay, dry noodles make it a more interesting concoction. So let us consume my flavorless gruel, which will give me 11 adventures. Sweet deal. Let's go back into my crafting then. Let us attempt to use a Hellion cube with dry noodles. They don't combine to make anything tasty. Well, that's okay. Alright. Do I have anything else I can make? I do have some appendices and some... Okay, let's go put on my bugbear costume. My bugbear beanie and my bugbear bungard, and then let us go back to the distant woods where we will purchase some skewers. Let us purchase, I don't know, 4 skewers and a couple of wads and 1 wadded dough. Oh, right. Hey, remember that time you tried to buy something without actually specifying what you wanted to buy? That was awesome. Alright, back into my crafting with my cooking. Let us take my rat appendices and my skewers. 4 rat appendix kebabs. It is decent food. Let us also take I forgot to flatten down my wad of dough. Miscellaneous wad of dough. And another wad of dough. Okay, let us go back to cooking. If I take... I don't have any hills of beans. I do have a pile of jumping beans though. Let's see, a pile of jumping beans and a flat dough. Gets me a jumping bean burrito. This burrito is made with jumping beans. A little difficult to hold on to because of all the twitching. Alright, so let's go back into my inventory and finish up eating for the day. Consumables. Okay. We will eat the jumping bean burrito. Gains 7 adventures and 13 chutzpah. And we will eat 4 red appendix kebabs. Can I eat that many? Yes, I can. So, well, I can eat 3 of them. Good enough. I am full. Alright, let's see. What else do I have that I can do here? You eat the rat appendix kebab. It's as tasty as can be. Maybe even tastier. Alright, well, let's go back and put my good stuff back on. Crown of the Goblin King and my ninja hot pants. And let's see. Search the haunted kitchen. Do I have resistance to stuff? Not really. I need spices. So let's go back to Cobb's Knob Kitchens. Cobb's Knob Oven. Viciously bludgeoned Knob Goblin Sous Chef. Gives me a knob sausage. Another Knob Goblin Sous Chef. And a wad of dough. Knob Goblin Master Chef. No spices. I have a feeling like I could be at this all day. Pulls a ricer on you, but looks embarrassed when he can't figure out what it's for. Ah, spices. Good. Okay. Inventory. Craft stuff. Enchanted bean burrito with spices. Bake. Now let us go back and see if this is enough to please the dark and dank Sinister cave. A spicy enchanted bean burrito. That is not enough. Slides in part way, but you encounter gradually increasing resistance. So I'm clearly not getting something. There's something that I am missing. I don't understand. Okay. If I want booze, what's the best place to get it? What booze do I have is maybe a better question. I have 2 bottles of gin, a bottle of rum, a bottle of tequila, and a bottle of whiskey, and some imp ale. Well, let's see what the seaside town, let's see what the Castle of Loathing wants. Recently, an aura of extreme spookiness has begun to emanate from the Serpt near the misspelled cemetery in the nearby plains. We fear that some horrible monster has taken up residence there and has begun to rile up the local undead. Would you be so good as to investigate? This device should help. I acquire an evilometer. What does the evilometer do? Oops. You look closely at the evilometer. There's total evil 200. 50 in the alcove, 50 in the cranny, 50 in the niche, and 50 in the nook. Okay. I'm not going to do that now. Probably could. You can see there's a misspelled cemetery here. Let's adventure there for a bit. You're fighting a smart skeleton. This is your brainless automaton of evil, only with a brain. He gets the jump on you. He tries to kick you with his phalanges, but forgets what part of his body that is. You club him like there's no tomorrow, doing 80 plus 14 damage. Whew. So I got a smart skull. This is a skull with glasses. It would probably be pretty smart if only it wasn't empty. I'll have to remember that. I'm not really feeling the cemetery right now. Let's see. I'm not even sure. What about the distant woods? let's see. Let's go check out the Deep Fat Friar's Gate. After arriving in Pandemonium, you walk into Azazel's temple, as it's the largest and most dangerous-looking building you can see. It's your basic evil, hellish demon dwelling. The decorative motifs include blood, pulsating skin, flames, and the occasional throw rug to add some visual interest. Azazel hovers over his throne. He looks like a rip in reality that's full of red glowing eyes and razor-sharp teeth. "So," he says in a burbling, mucusy whisper, "I heard you were looking for my misplaced talismans of evil power. I trust you would not dare enter this monument to eternal pain unless you had actually completed that quest, so you must have all 3 of my talismans, yes?" Actually, I left them at the coat check. I'll just pop out and get them because I totally have them, and I'll be right back, you say, and make a quick exit. Yeah, you should probably look for those talismans before you try going back in there. Okay, well, let's visit Moaning Panda Square. As you walk through the deserted Moaning Panda Square, a shadowy figure in a trench coat steps out from behind one of the many Moaning Panda statues. He starts to open his trench coat, and you start to avert your eyes. Then you breathe a sigh of relief as you see he's wearing pants, and the inside of his trench coat is lined with merchandise for sale. "Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth, taste, and the finest merchandise this size of the river Styx. Want to buy a watch, or a nice new wallet, or an ancient talisman of unspeakable evil? No, and yes. How much meat do you want for the talisman?" "Meat," the stranger says, raising his eyebrows. "We don't trade meat here in Hades. We trade in sin here. I'll hand over this talisman in exchange for proof that you've beaten up 5 imps at Belias and 5 demons at the Infernal Rackets concert. Deal?" "How do I find you again?" he asks. "Oh, I'll be around," he says, smiling. "Anytime there's violence and pain, I'll be around." Okay. Well, let's go to Belias Comedy Club. Let's talk to Morn here. "Good evening and welcome to Belias, Hades' finest and only comedy club. My name is Morn, your host. I'm an empath demon and I can tell your fortune for you if you make me laugh. Seriously, please make me laugh. I haven't had a good laugh in forever. You know, it's kind of like how you work in a pizza parlor, you start eating pizza. Heck, I'll even give you this ancient talisman of unspeakable evil if you can give me a hearty guffaw. Care to try?" Let's try insulting him. "Hey," you say, "nice horns. It's like you've got 2 pointed red horns on top of your head or something. I bet it's hard to wear hats." Morn looks, well, mournful. "It actually is," he says. "That's not funny. Maybe you should try to soak up some of the ambiance here before you try making me laugh again." "Alright, well, let's go inside Belias Comedy Club then. I am fighting a PR imp. Man, this is one seriously fancy imp. His horns are immaculately trimmed, his tail is meticulously curled, his teeth are gleaming white, and his claws are razor sharp. He must spend hours in front of the mirror every day. But I still get the jump on him. And I hit him, and he goes down. Okay. I'm fighting a BL imp. Man, this is the biggest imp you have ever seen. When he sits around the torture chamber for eternally inflicting suffering on the souls of the damned, he sits around the torture chamber for eternally inflicting suffering on the souls of the damned. But I still get to jump on him. Oof. Alright, you ducked him into the club, but he tries to headbutt you as you get briefly stuck under one of his chins and you panic a little. Alright, so I do induct him into the club again, and I do get some health back from Wonklin. I'm fighting another Brimp. Thrust smack. Evil monkey. Evil infernal demon monkey. It's a CH imp. Alright, the opponent flings something at you. I won't tell you what it is, just that it's gross. Alright, well, let's thrust smack him. As soon as my computer catches up. There we go. Your powerful thrust impresses your foe, but it is the ensuing smack that truly dazzles him as it deals the 66 damage. Alright, let's keep laughing. Let's keep on the laughing floor. A Priar imp, he scratches you with one immaculately manicured claw. At least it was a clean scratch. Whack. You are fighting Carbuncle Top. You finally make your way to the stage and see the comedian currently performing cold. See that the comedian currently performing could only be popular in Hades. Oh, it isn't that instead of a head he has a massive pus-weeping infected boil. Ask the orcish frat boys if being a massive pus-weeping infected boil has an effect on your social life. It's just that all of his comedy relies on puns based on props. You know, he'll say, like, put up your dukes and hold up 2 pictures of Azazel, Archduke of Hades. Or he'll say, I'm all ears, and throw a sheet over his head that's covered in the ears of several damned souls. You'd have to be tortured every day to find Carbuncle Top's comedy entertaining. It's like how you'd hit yourself in the head with a hammer every day. A blow with a baseball bat will seem downright pleasant. He says, good job, you're totally on fire, and then hoses you down with a flamethrower. No one laughs. Alright, trust, smack, it's all in the mind, and in the face of your opponent who took 57 plus 14 plus 5 damage. Win the fight, I get a hilarious comedy prop. This is a foam prop made to look like the propeller of an old-timey airplane. Think of all the hilarious jokes you make with this thing. You could give someone mad props, so let me know if you think of any hilarious jokes you could make with this thing. Okay, so it's a quest item. I have a feeling I'm going to need to equip it. Okay. Let us return to Morn. Let us try some prop comedy. You hold up your hilarious comedy prop. Hey, you say, you look a little unstable. Let me prop you up. Morn giggles a little. Not bad. That wasn't enough laughter for me to tell your fortune, but it's enough for this. He holds out his hands and green light flashes from them. You feel a little wiser, stronger, and cooler than you did a minute ago. Sorry, throat just getting a little dry from the talking here, but fortunately I'm almost done for the day. I do not want to keep adventuring wielding my hilarious comedy prop though, so I am going to go back to my hammer of smiting. And we will go back. Okay, let's go inside. I'm fighting a CH imp. It gets the jump on me. He points at you and grimaces. You feel a shiver run up your spine and punch you in the back of the neck. Ow. Okay, so I got some imp air, which is a combat item. This is a can full of compressed air from Hades. Imps use it in the kingdom to keep themselves refreshed. Since the air of Hades is blisteringly hot, foul-smelling, and possibly carcinogenic, I'd recommend using it on monsters, not on yourself. Okay, so the stranger wants 4 more imp airs and 5 bus passes. I am, however, hurting somewhat, so I'm going to spend an adventure in my cottage and then return to the last floor. I am fighting Victor, the insult comic Hellhound. You finally fight your way to the stage where your way is blocked by nothing less than one of the hounds of Hades. Its eyes glow red, and the unholy flames lick out of the corners of its mouth. It snarls at you, then holds up a tiny rubber hand puppet, a miniature likeness of itself. It speaks to you, trying not to move its hellish lips, and bobs the hand puppet up and down like the puppet's doing the talking. That's a nice outfit you're wearing, he snarls. You like it? It's just what I had lying around. For me to douse in flaming sulfuric urine, the Hellhound says and laughs nastily. Are you gonna let that puppet talk to you like that? Whack. Okay, I beat the crap out of Victor, the insult comic Hellhound. This is an offhand item, so let's go equip that then. Let us unequip my hot plate. What does Victor, the insult comic Hellhound puppet actually do? This is a little rubber puppet in the likeness of Victor, the insult comic Hellhound. It's sure to be useful for me to douse in flaming sulfuric urine. Oh, it adds to monster level. Well, I don't actually want to use that then. We will equip that, and we will head back and speak with Morn. Let us insult Morn. You hold the puppet up and try to approximate Victor's weird quasi-border town accent. Hey, those are some nice horns you have. For me to douse in flaming sulfurous urine. Morn chuckles appreciatively. He says insults are always funnier when they're coming out of a puppet's mouth, aren't they? Anyway, your fortune. I predict that your fortune will increase in the near future. Morn winks at you and then tosses a few meat stacks your way. Sweet deal. Okay. Let us go remove Victor, the insult comic Hellhound puppet, though, and put my hot plate back on. And let's go back to the lab floor. I still have 10 adventures. I might get there. I am fighting a CH imp. Evil monkey. Evil infernal demon monkey. Alright. I whack him, but he whacks me back. And I win. Excellent. I'm fighting a primp. Another imp air. Excellent. A CH imp, and down he goes. He stomps on your foot with his impeccably manicured hoof. Oh well, at least he didn't go hoof to mouth. Oh, that's bad. Alright, down he goes. I'm fighting Larry, the Field of Signs. You make a backup stage, and the comedian on deck pauses for a minute and regards you, bemused. Have you ever noticed how adventurers come up on stage when you're trying to do your act? Like, what is the deal with that? And what is it with male and female humans? It's like female humans are always talking about their feeble mortal emotions, while male humans just want to grunt and drink intoxicating beverages. And hey, what is it with Satan and his metallic sonatas? It's like, listen, your highness, just this once, can we not oscillate them for a change? What are you doing, you ask? You're not even telling jokes. You're just describing stuff that happens and asking what the deal is with them. And what's the deal with me having to rip off this human's mortal head and defecate down his neck? That Larry, the Field of Signs, asks, advancing on you. He gets the jump on me. He asks me what the deal is with mortal eyeballs and how they explode in a squish of jelly if you poke them with a claw. Ooh, I might not win this fight. Oh no, I did. I got the observational glasses. Excellent. What do they do? What's the deal with a pair of glasses? There's only one of them. Yep, this is a pair of glasses formerly worn by one of Hades' comedians, Larry of the Field Signs. They'll enable you to observe what's happening in the world around you and use those observations to make hilarious jokes. That is, if you're in a parallel universe where hilarious jokes means pointing out things everyone already knows. It's an accessory which gives me +5 item drops from monsters. Ooh. What do I have here? Well, let's unequip my Null-Tooth Lit. Actually, I think Baron von Ratsworth monocle does. It's similar. But, we will put the observational glasses on and return to Morn. Let's try some observational humor. Hey, so how about those GMs, you ask? I mean, they're always wearing those rubber masks with the zippers on the mouth. What's the deal with that? Morn slaps his knee and bellows laughter. That's hilarious, he says. It's funny because it's true. They always are wearing those sexy, or disturbing, masks. Here's your fortune. You're closer to completing the quest you're on. He reaches under the bar and pulls out a big round lollipop. You see it says, property of Azazel on it. I have acquired Azazel's lollipop. I call my demon Lollipop W-Y, because if I don't, he'll stab me in the eye. Sorry about that. This is a suspiciously sticky, brightly colored lollipop of Azazel, one of the archdukes of Hades. It may look stupid, but it's no dum-dum. It's one of those giant, spiral, big-as-your-head-all-day suckers. Even though there's probably one of those born every minute, Azazel's probably going to want this one back. Okay, so sweet. Let us go back and remove my observational glasses. As cute as they are not as good as Baron von Ratsworth's monocle, which I was already wearing. We will put my Null-Tooth necklace back on. I have 5 adventures left. I'm going to spend one of them in my campground. Then I'm going to head back to Pandemonium and just go to the Pandemonium slums here. Alright. Ooh, condemned. In a dark alleyway of Pandemonium, you sense evil. Granted, there's evil everywhere around here, but this evil is familiar to you. Seals. You investigate the alley and follow your sense of dread through a couple doors into the back room of an abandoned building. Sitting in the middle of the floor, surrounded by strange scrawls of soot and the stubs of candles, sits an Infernal Seal figurine. It looks like somebody attempted a summoning ritual and it failed. You take the seal with you, reckoning that it may not be so unlucky the next time, and the last thing this place needs is to be crawling with seals. Okay, I've got a charred seal. This little clay figurine of a seal that appears to have narrowly escaped from an incinerator, or maybe a seal that lives in an incinerator. Only seal cleverers may use that item. As you approach the Deep Fat Friar's Gate, you find something curious on the ground. As it turns out, it's a curious caterpillar. Hey, he says, check out this map I found. I'm curious as to whether you'd like it. You'd take it, would you? I got a Hades map. Woe betide he who enters here without suitable magic for our Dark Lord. Alright, well, let's not go there just yet, then. Got another figurine of a charred seal. I am fighting a G-Imp. He pulls out a paddle and whacks you with it. Maybe the G-Imp is just a demonic frat boy. Alright, more Imp Ale, a W-Imp, got a Wussiness Potion, and an Infernal Fife. This is a ranged weapon. It is a two-handed flute. It deals +7 hot damage. Okay, he runs away, leaving you with the tube. Might come in handy. Okay, as you round a corner of Pandemonium, you spot a W-Imp in the process of doing something to his mouth. Curious, you approach him. Hey, don't hurt me, he shrieks, spotting you. Calm down, I'm just wondering what you're doing here. What, I'm just putting on some lip balm. You mean, like, nuke your face from orbit? No, balm. To keep my lips from getting all sore and chapped in the sweltering heat of Hades. Here, take it, just leave me alone. He runs away, leaving you with the tube. Might come in handy if you can keep from wondering where W's imp lips have been. This gives me the potion with the effect Fireproof Lips, which gives me Sublime Hot Resistance for 10 adventures. Okay, well, I'm out of adventures, so I'm going to drink up, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. It's been great. This is Dilsim signing out. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.